Hey everyone, this is Guro Ferd, Terado of the SakSak system, and this is the part 2 of the double knife material that I was showing previously. On the first video, I was showing mainly the basic mechanics of the double knife work. Well, we started with the single knife thrusting up Ishidario, and then we added the switching knife to either hand, and then finally we did the abecedario with two knives on both hands, right? Or a knife on both hands. So this time we're gonna take the same abecedario thrusting lines, and we're kind of gonna give it more of an offensive attacking energy. Okay. Yeah, just like before, I am using my folders because that's what I have on me now. Well, I have this one too, but yeah, they're all live blades. So once again, please use trainers. Don't attempt to copy what I'm doing and play with real knives. If you cut yourself, that's your fault. I warned you to be careful. We're gonna take the same abecedario that we learned on the previous video, and we're gonna give it more of a, again, more like an attack execution, right? The actual execution. For a lot of people that are not aware, often we have forms in Bikini Tertia Kali, and a lot of times they're not necessarily executed literally as they were shown, because they are meant to teach you the basic movement of the tactic, right? And it has to be structured in a way that's simple enough, but gives you a lot of room to build upon it once you've understood the basic principle, right? And a lot of people like to argue, oh, that's not realistic, it's not going to work in a real fight, and whatever. It's just, you got to learn to crawl before you can run. Everybody wants to start sprinting, right? And nobody has any patience to take the time to cultivate the basic skill in the beginning. So that's what we attempt to do. Is we try to teach you the proper way, slowly, with the correct mechanics. So take this opportunity now to learn it this way, right? Okay, so like I said, we're for part 2. Let's say we're pretty comfortable about delivering our double knife mechanics, kind of in this right, like the same like fighting is like bam, 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 bam. Okay, you can move fast, and you can fire either knife at will. This is the combination. Well, if you watch the previous video, you already know the combination, right? It's a jab, thrust, slash, thrust, thrust, and then jab and a thrust again, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. I didn't count this one because it's a jab. But yeah, you can count it however you want. You go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or you can do what we do and not count the jabs and only count the thrusts. 1, 2, 3. Right? 1, 2, and 3. So again, I'm moving fast just to show you that once you've gotten a good feel for the mechanics, and you understand your range of motion, right, you can start moving pretty fast. You don't have to try to move fast. It's just kind of there, because again, I took time to do everything slow and smooth, right? Just like that old saying, slow is smooth, smooth is fast. Once again, I'm going to now assume a fighting posture instead of being so upright and kind of being robotic like this, I'm going to assume a fighting posture, because again, I am now starting to kind of, make this my own, right? So again, these are our strikes: jab thrust, slash a thrust, and then a thrust there, the last thrust. You can still break this down, okay, as you develop your skills. You can attempt to do the entire thing, or you can break it down like I often do, especially for my students, and then you kind of piece it back together again. So here's the first breakdown. We're going to break down the jab and number one thrust combo, right? So we're jabbing with the offhand, or the rear hand in this case, and we're thrusting with the number one thrust upward with the lead hand, okay? So we're here, fighting posture, right? See, as I jab, again, these are knives. I kind of have to get my other hand out of the way, okay? Fill that space with the jab, and then execute the thrust, okay? Jab, thrust. Jab, thrust. Jab, thrust, right? You can flip it and jab with the right, and then thrust with the left, right? Just like we did in the previous video. So lead hand jab, backhand or rear hand thrust. Jab, thrust. Jab, thrust. Jab, thrust. Jab, thrust. One thing in Pikita Tertia, when we're being taught double knife jabs, the other hand tends to go underneath the armpit to protect it, right? The only thing is that's an isolated jab, and you notice that, right? Because my other hand is under my armpit, protecting my side, okay? It's not quite poised for the number one thrust. So, my hands are gonna remain relatively open, and I'm jabbing, and obviously I'm exposing my armpit, but I'm not overextending myself, okay? I'm treating the jab just like a boxing jab, okay? Trying to get a reaction, or, stun my target a couple of times before I land my more powerful punches. So you'll treat it the same way, okay? I'm gonna sting or jab, right? See, that's what that knife jab is for. And then, and then I follow it with my more powerful or more lethal strike. So in this case, it's a jab and then number one thrust. Okay, here, jab, thrust, jab, thrust, jab, thrust. Okay. Same thing if you're trying to be ambidextrous, doing it left side, left lead, right hand on the rear, jab, thrust, jab, thrust, jab, thrust. Or this time, I jab with the rear hand and then thrust with the lead hand, but I'm on the left side. So jab, thrust, jab, thrust, jab, thrust, jab, thrust. Okay. Again, you're doing this to start becoming more nimble with your knife work. Once again, I hope you're doing this with trainers and not with real knives, unless you're already pretty good with the knife and you don't cut yourself by accident as much. But I would still encourage you to do this with trainers. So we got a knife thrust, okay, that combo. Next, we're going to add the number two, right? So we got jab, thrust, thrust. Right? So this little slash motion here, right? Obviously, there's a number of ways that you can use this, but in this instance, right, we're moving around a lot. There's not a lot of, at least we're assuming, there's not a lot of danger of being grabbed or whatever. So this slash motion is acting as a transition to the next thrust, which is how it is in every stereo. So I jab, thrust, slash here, okay, and then I'm going to deliver my number two thrust. Oops, sorry, should go over here. Okay, jab, thrust, slash. See, there's my left hand kind of goes across like I'm trying to parry, but I'm not really trying to parry. I'm trying to cut whatever's reaching out to touch me, whether it's a punch or a grab. For some reason, he's sticking his face out. I don't know, right? It's just there's something there to hit, and I'm using this to protect my head as I prepare to deliver my primary knife. Okay, so you go jab thrust. Okay, there's a thrust to protect my face, and then there's the actual thrust I'm going to deliver to the target. Okay, so jab slash thrust, jab thrust, see? Jab thrust, thrust, jab thrust. There's the two thrusts actually, two thrusts. Okay, jab thrust, thrust, jab thrust, thrust. You can wave back, or you can use that to advance whatever you need to do, right? Especially when you start adding your footwork, start playing with different ideas on how you're gonna move forward, back, lateral, in diagonals, whatever, right? Again, at this stage, you are now starting to put your abecedario together as actual attacks, right? That you can do in real time and at will. Okay, you're not trying to memorize 1, 2, 3 anymore. You're just firing your weapons, bang, 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 bang. Okay, so jab, thrust, thrust, thrust. There. Okay, so once you're able to obviously get this combo going, nice and smooth, and you're actually becoming fast now, start adding the final thrust, the number 3. Okay, so jab, thrust, thrust. There, see? 1, 2, and 3. Jab, thrust, thrust, thrust. Again, you can start moving around here, right? However you like. Jab, thrust, thrust, thrust. You can even substitute that last thrust with just another jab, okay? You go jab, thrust, thrust, roll your hands, jab again, see? Again, taking care not to lacerate your own arms. Jab, thrust, thrust, jab. Or have the more lethal number 3 thrust. Jab, thrust, 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 okay? That's it. That's all I got for you for now with a double knife. I know I kind of went a little fast, but you can always rewind and play it in slow-mo later on. So I hope this is informative for you, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.